Hello everyone, welcome to NYC Derailed Live. Happy 4th of July. Today we're doing a bit of a fun theme, basically British versus American trains, and the theme of July 4th and Independence Day, all in good fun of course. So we're going to start off running some of our British trains. So we've got our camera fixed on the station here, and we're going to start with our Mallard, which has the speed record for steam locomotives in the UK. In the middle there, it's hard to see, we have our Caledonian Railways 060, which is a beautiful Bachmann model. And then in the far back, we have a new model that we've recently acquired, the GT3 gas turbine, which is really cool. It looks a lot like a steam engine, has a really unique design, but it's actually a gas turbine engine. So we're going to start having those guys go around the track. First we'll get the Mallard off. And the Mallard was the first train we got when getting back into the hobby. It is a Hornby set actually, so we started off just getting a Hornby set. It was DC ready, so it was really easy to convert over once we had a layout. So it's kind of got a special place in our hearts because it's our first engine and cars that we got when getting back into the hobby. Yeah, it runs pretty good. We've converted to DCC recently so we can run it on our main layout. We've actually had somebody recently ask us on TikTok about how to kind of get back into the hobby as an adult. And one of the things we recommended was to kind of just going to your local hobby shop or train shop, if you have one near you, and honestly picking up a train set just to get used to things. You can get train sets now that come with DCC fitted engines already, but just getting one that's DCC ready will allow you to get a train set to start, and then also be able to run it on your layout if you decide to go with a DCC layout down the road. So definitely just going, grabbing a train set. They're going to run you between $250 here in the US, but it will kind of get you reacquainted, and as long as you get one that's DCC ready, you can always add a DCC decoder if you decide to go to build a bigger layout later on. If you do F1, it will turn the sound back on. It loses momentum around that curve. So yeah, that GT3 is a really unique looking engine, and it runs really well. It's a KR.
It's a KR model, GT3 and 00 gauge. It's actually funny that the first two trains we're running on that are 4th of July here are our first train and our latest train.
Yeah, true.
But I completely agree. I think in order to get started in the hobby, it can get really overwhelming. So a great place to start is potentially getting a starter set like we did with the Mallard. And then just working your way. Really find something that you are absolutely in love with. If that's going to be your first train and these are expensive, find something that you can see yourself running around in a loop a good 20 to 30 times a day.
Yeah, and especially for us, I mean, I had a small apartment, I couldn't do anything big, so getting that basic oval loop as part of the starter set was really key for me starting out.
It was interesting. You started with a very iconic train. I almost think of the Mallard, I think, as iconic as the Empire State Express, how it was in the U.S., or even the Big Boy.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, we were at a train shop looking for a set, and I was kind of flabbergasted how expensive things were. As a kid, I remember going to like Toys R Us, and there being train sets, like diesel train sets between like 5 or 6 cars, and they were like $100-$120. And we went to the train store and kind of saw that, like, I thought I could just pick out an engine and some cars to start, and basically, just engines alone, some of them were vintage and have risen in value, so engines were like $200 to $300, and I was shocked. So I kind of looked up in this hobby shop that was really crammed. That's the Red Caboose in New York City, if anybody knows it. And saw the Mallard, and I was like, oh, that's the cool engine I wanted. So technically 00, You can run OO trains on a show track, and as long as you run them with other OO scale trains, you really don't notice the size difference. But I kind of was like, that's it. That's something. It was $200. Got the full set, and it's Hornby. It's a good engine. And
so close to getting that flying Scotsman.
yeah, we do need to get the flying Scotsman. I think at this point, it's not quite my favorite, but it is another iconic British engine. Definitely something we should try to add to the layout.
And if anyone is interested, a little history on the Mallard. It's a 1936 engine, I believe, part of the London and Northern New England Railways. Actually built for higher speeds and heavy passenger services. I think back then they only allowed trains to hit 90 miles per hour. I think when the Mallard came out, it was reaching speeds of up to 100 miles per hour just to catch up with express passenger service, including the Princess Coronation.
So, I know we went over the history of the Caledonian in another live, but here comes the Caledonian in the backtrack. We had a little bit of our view of it. It's a really nice, it's a really nice looking engine. And it's small, it's an 060, but it's a beautiful engine. It's got a nice long flat tender. And I absolutely love it. It's a Bachmann model. And the DCC fitted it. We still have to work on some of the decoder properties though. It does have a flickering light box effect, and but you have to program the decoder to do that effect. So I still need to work on that. But it's a really nice little model. I absolutely love it. Love the blue. It's kind of got that Victorian look to it.
Yeah.
It's such a nice little engine, and it runs very well. We have it pulling some vintage Hornby coaches that came with one of our vintage Hornby Pioneer tanks. And the red and blue really look good together. I'd love to get Hornby teak coaches.
Oh, those wooden.
Yeah.
I keep getting those wooden, glossy.
Yeah, I think that would look beautiful with that engine. Kind of like a Thomas the Tank blade, even though that's not a tank engine.
Just adding a little bit more history, this train was actually part of the Caledonian Railroad. I think it dates back all the way to 1881.
Oh, wow.
Also a passenger service, known to be speedy for its time, running until 55 miles per hour. I will say, looking at these British trains, they look so simplistic, even though they're probably a lot more complex. But they're so beautifully colored.
Oh yeah, I really like looking at British engines. I love the power of American engines, but some of these British engines have beautiful colors,
Yeah.
beautiful look. The way they, in some ways, they hide the piston mechanism, and just kind of you see this beautiful engine where all the mechanical stuff is hidden. It's gonna be really, really nice.
If anyone's interested, our Caledonian train, I believe, is Bachmann and Rails of Sheffield collaboration. Rails of Sheffield is kind of like the British train world, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have a great store. I'd love to go there in person if I ever go to Europe. So I believe these coaches are Hornby that the GT3 is pulling.
Oh no!
They're being a little bit, misbehaving a little bit on the switch over here, listen, I have no idea why. They're usually very good runners. There's something with the flanges that aren't catching the switch or something, I don't know what it is. Sure. Try to raise this up a little bit. I think it could also be the actual switch itself being bad. So yeah, the GT3 has sound built in, which is pretty cool. So it has you hear the gas turbine sound. You guys should be able to hear it on our layout mic, hopefully when it goes by.
Now, out of genuine curiosity, I don't know if you have an answer to this. I notice a lot of the older British passenger engines they're not really articulated and they don't seem to be connected. Were people able to go from one passenger car to another, or were you?
I don't know. They definitely early British passenger cars definitely are reminiscent of like horse and carriage, very much.
Yeah.
Well, like some of the really old ones, they were very small. Each section had like its own door. Like it wasn't even you could walk down a hallway. Each section literally had its own door. So yeah, I don't think you could. I think modern British trains do, but like what we have here, I don't think there was gangways you could walk down.
So now the GT3 was interesting because it was what gas turbine.
Yes.
So it kind of retained that steam engine look by maintaining the tender, although the tender was filled with kerosene.
Yes. Yes, I believe it basically sprayed the kerosene and drove a turbine. We have two other turbine engines. We have the Union Pacific turbine, and which is a really big diesel engine, and then we have the Pennsylvania Railroad S2 turbine, which is a steam turbine. So that one didn't have kerosene or gas. It literally generated steam in the conventional sense, but instead of putting it into pistons, the steam went through a turbine, which spun very quickly and then drove the wheels. So really cool different types of locomotion on some of these engines. So it's cool to hear that rev up like a what's it called?
I love it on the layout though, but I don't know how it would feel as the conductor.
Yeah, it might have been very loud. I'm not sure. There goes the Mallard. Definitely the Mallard is a train you want to see moving fast.
Yeah.
It was known for breaking the speed record, so not something you want to see moving slow. You want to switch back to the station?
I'm so excited we were actually able to get our hands on this gas turbine. Because I know it was with its original release, it was back ordered.
Oh yeah, I'd watched not a review, but like an unveiling of it, kind of, and but they went very quickly, so they weren't really available for very long. And then recently they announced they were redoing the orders, so probably 2 years later. So it was really cool to see them have availability again. It's interesting too, because like a lot of our locomotives have lights on them, because they're more, not modern, but like modern steam engines. And most of these, with the exception of the GT3, do not have lights. So the Caledonia does not have any illumination, neither does the Mallard. I've seen some other versions of Mallard that have kind of that side light that must have been added like after the fact, kind of like we see on like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
You know, where you have that little light sitting on the front bumper. But as far as I know, I don't think a lot of these engines really have lights on them. And early, I don't, whatever year these are from. And now this is having fun too. Oops, the camera.
It's so scary to think about pre-ordering because a lot of these companies, they can't be too huge, so they only have a limited amount of stock.
Yeah.
But to think if you don't get them now, if they don't release any more in the future, you're going to be stuck on eBay on these bidding wars, paying an excessive amount of money to get your hands on them.
Yeah, eBay is not a happy place. Still, I think. I mean, I thought it was kind of during the pandemic, but now I think it's still things are really highly priced on there. I don't know how. Like I said, I wasn't in the. Neither of us were in the hobby. For a time since we were kids, so I don't know how things have changed or how they've gradually changed. But I wonder if this was always like this, because where if you don't get the pre-order, there's a chance you may not get the engine at all.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if it's always been like that, and there are some things. I mean, you can go to some train stores and they have a ton of these things. It's not, it's not like everything's missing off the shelves. But yeah, it's definitely a good question. Like, I don't know if it was always like, okay, if you don't buy this engine when they first released, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at this. The GT3 is something that was released and they sold out. And it took 2 years before they did another run of them. I'm really interested in the Irish Railways Class A. I'm really interested in that one. And at the time I couldn't get it, but right now it doesn't look like they have any plans to make another run of them. And that's a model I would really, really like to have. Why don't you take that one off and just start the key for it? All right, so we're going to do a little bit of change around in the spirit of our theme. So just bear with us for a moment. So we're going to start switching out and putting on some of our American engines. And again, we're not going to have our engines battle each other or anything. This is just kind of a play on the fact that the 4th of July was independence from the UK. But let's see, what is that? 3460.
We're lovers of trains, everybody. Whatever country it is, if it's a unique engine, we'll try to keep an eye on it.
Absolutely.
And folks, if you're joining us or if you're watching this later, please let us know. Are you a big American train person, UK trains, or any other particular country?
It's actually kind of crazy how, with the exception of Hornby sets here in the US, and honestly the Thomas the Tank trains that Bachmann makes here in the US, which I think are OO, not HO, there's not really a way for us here in the US to get OO scale trains. No. I mean, a few hobby shops might have them, like some hobby shops carry Markland too. That's not very common to see here in the train stores. But it's unfortunate. I don't know if it's the same way in the UK. You know, I don't know if in the UK people there who want to have American trains, whether they're modeling a road after a US road or just running them. I have no idea if it's as difficult for them to get US trains as it is for us. A lot of these companies have basically US based and European based companies like Bachmann. Hornby, I don't think has anything in the US, but they distribute here. So yeah, it's really interesting. I wish there was more access to it. We are, for instance, looking for rolling stock because we don't have any real freight trains. We have all passenger cars, so that's something we've been looking for. And you know, I don't mind it, but we have to order from Railway Sheffield, and it just takes a while because it's shipping overseas and so on.
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate to be on the East Coast and have the access to a variety of hobby shops. But I think out of all the hobby shops near us, there's only been one that has retail some Hornby or UK trains, and that's... sorry, folks. That is the Red Caboose.
Yeah, and they have a great mix of stuff there. So sorry for the pausers. Had a little bit of takes a little bit of time to switch out some of these trains. But coming into view, oops, maybe not. Oh, that's why. Debris on the track. A little bit of a derailment. Okay, I think you're good. So going onto the track, we have the Pennsylvania Railroad K4, which is a streamlined locomotive, and it's one of the iconic locomotives we'll see here in the U.S. This is a Bachmann model, so it has sound, obviously TCC. It does not have smoke, but it's a really nice little model, has great chuffing noises, and it's a really nice looking model in the body. So we have it pulling some of the red, maroon kind of Pennsylvania Railroad passenger cars. And we'll switch over to our warehouse view so you can see it coming around. And the Mallard's still going to run around a little bit while we get the next train ready. And there comes that K4 coming around the corner there. So what we tried to do here is pick out a couple of, we have a lot of American locomotives obviously, we wanted to pick out some iconic ones in the same kind of spirit that we picked out the British trains. So, you know, with the British, you know, the Mallard's really well known. So we have the American trains. We have to pick out ones that are iconic U.S. trains. So what we've done is, again, the K4 was a very well-known streamlined train from the Pennsylvania Railroad, which is a very common railroad for people to model here in the U.S. A lot of people on the East Coast like doing Pennsylvania Railroad, Lehigh Valley, Boston and Albany, and New York Central, of course.
New York Central, one of my personal favorites, and Pennsylvania Railroad.
So coming into view, we're going to have another iconic engine. This one is from the Santa Fe Railroad.
Yes.
This is a Broadway limited model. You guys will see it in a second coming onto the station.
We've got our streamlined 3460 Santa Fe Blue Goose, an iconic American train that I believe ran from Colorado to Chicago, in its iconic robin's egg blue, why it was named the Blue Goose.
Unfortunately, we have not been able to secure Blue Goose passenger cars. So right now we have it pulling some Baltimore and Ohio passenger cars that are blue and have gray on them, so they somewhat match. Normally, this engine can pull a lot more, but we've got it on a short consist because that is those are the only cars we have, unfortunately. But it's a really nice model from Broadway Limited, Paragon 4. It's got all the bells and whistles, no pun intended, smoke, sounds, etc. So you guys will see it coming around that module in just a second. So the smoke unit's really chuffing today.
Getting a nice scent of hot chocolate.
Yeah, we've recently tried out what is it,
Megacine?
JT's Mega Steam. We got a hot chocolate scented one to change it up a little bit. But there goes that Blue Goose. Really nice smoke effect there coming around our warehouse module.
So this is one thing I didn't know. I love Rivarossi. We started off with Rivarossi. I'm obsessed with Rivarossi. I was under the impression that their Blue Goose was prototypical. This entire time I thought it had a cold tender.
And it
Blue
doesn't.
Goose was actually oil-based, wasn't it?
Yeah, that happens. Especially a lot of the later Steam ones end up running on oil. So here we'll see the Blue Goose come through close by at the station.
Still how that smoke puffs out so beautifully.
Yeah, it's working really well. Alright, can you let me know what that one keeps running at that speed? I'm going to get the other last engine ready. It's going to take me a bit of time, so we're going to put our last engine on. I promise you it is an iconic one. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get ready.
Now, folks, if you guys are fans of the K4, I know that the Bachmann model is a little different from the Broadway Limited. I believe the Broadway Limited is going with the 1936 version of the K4. That's before the DGLE, the dark green. For the life of me, I cannot remember the L. Enamel paint scheme. We currently have the Bachmann 3678 K4, which I believe is a 1941 model, where they decided to essentially emulate the New York Central Dreyfus Hudson kind of body of the steam engine.
Okay, almost there. This is going to be a long train, if that is any kind of hint to what the last American locomotive is that we're going to be putting on the layout tonight.
What is it? This is a doodle bug?
Yeah. That one cool very much. Alright, looks like we're all clear. Oops.
Keeping suspense.
Well, it's such a big train, it's hard to get everything together, and the running smoothly is a whole other story. Okay, I think we're open. Once again. I'm going to take this guy out. Alright, and here is the Union Pacific Big Boy. So definitely one of the most iconic engines here in the US. It was the largest US engine, but not the most powerful. I believe it was the triplex was the most powerful. Maybe not, maybe it was another one, I can't remember which one it was, but it's not the most powerful. Definitely iconic, definitely a workhorse, but it's the biggest US locomotive. It's articulated, so it can go around bends. It was used because getting certain trains over the mountains was really problematic, and they needed a strong engine to do it. Oops, we got lost our conscious here. Yeah, having these long concerts is nerve-wracking because there's a lot more that can go wrong.
I mean, how can you not see its strength? This engine is a beast with its...
Oh no, I know, it's me again.
488
I always do
four-wheel
this.
arrangement.
If you watch our lives, you guys will know I do this a lot. We have a switch that lets us bring trains on from a siding, and I always forget to split it back. And it is electrified, so therefore, if an engine touches it and it's not switched, it will short out our way. There we go. Perfect. So this is another Broadway limited model we have. Runs really good. It's got a lot of smoke coming out of it. It's got 2 stacks, and it's also got a really cool effect you see mostly on O-gauge or Lionel kind of style engine. It's got a smoke unit detector whistle, which is really cool because it has a separate blower, and when you use the whistle, you'll actually see smoke come out of the whistle and that smoke set, which is really, really awesome. Yeah, we've got to get some parts for this movie because it's a really amazing train.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have much to go with it.
I'll say it again, I believe in the past 2 or 3 years, there's been an upsurge in the hobby where prices have become ridiculous.
Yeah.
I remember you can get a nice blue juice passenger car set, Riverosky, I believe in them. You can get a Ford car set for about $100.
Yeah, it's crazy. And River Rock is definitely more affordable passenger because you can get, it may not be 100% prototypical, but you can get a set of 4 for even under $100. Even on eBay, some of those are going for a ton of money.
Yeah, about $300.
So you can see how long that consist is for that big boy. So 11 cars, including the caboose. This is fun. I've actually had a pull more. I'm not going to risk it on the live because it needs more derailments, but this engine can pull. All of our body limiters really can pull a lot of force. They have traction tires, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they're also heavy, and if they're die-cast or they're brass hybrid, they have a lot of weight and they can pull a lot of parts.
Do you think the name would have been iconic, or the train would have been as iconic if it was called the Wasatch?
No.
So originally going to be called the Wasatch engine because it was going through the Wasatch Mountain regions in Ogden, Utah, and Green River, Wyoming. But it was one of the manufacturers of Alco, the railway company, that decided to write Big Boy in the Cold Box store, and it's iconic name. pretty boring.
Yeah, that's really interesting that it was somebody working effectively with a stock or whatever
Yeah.
on it.
Looks like we lost the passenger car there.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite engines. Oh, looks like we lost the camera. Go back to the station view. Well, we lost that as well. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I don't know why our camera's acting. I think there's a power issue with having all the cameras put into one hub. So we'll just stick to the station view for now. Yeah, that hot chocolate scent doesn't smell really good, actually.
Yeah. Makes me hungry.
I love just watching the big boy like crawl. Like there are some trains that will run fast, but there are some trains that they're powerful, they roll really well, and the big boy's one of them. And just watching it crawl with a super long consist is really enjoyable for me. Yeah, really just good what parts of the bridges. It's such a pretty engine. It's not done justice by those two little old velocity cars.
Yeah.
This is somewhat nice. Yeah, I think it's really cool. One of the things about the big boy too is I think it's 4014 is the number. They've restored and they do excursions. And we did it back in 2016.
Really?
So it's really cool to see something like that. I know there's a lot of smaller railroads or railroad museums that you just see railroads, like in Colorado, that do restorations on smaller engines, which is phenomenal. I love to see it, even if it's just preserving it in a museum. One of the really sad things about the hobby is you see these really cool engine models, and you research them, and then you find out that they were also the Dreyfus Hudson, yeah. That thing, I cannot believe that was left to go to a scrapyard. But it was, unfortunately, and we have to live with it, so any preservation that can be done, whether it's working as an excursion train or, it's just kept museum, it's a scratch museum, amazing. It has a ton of restored or preserved locomotives in it. I don't know how many are actually operational, but you can always see them in. But unfortunately, I think a lot of them are scrapped in a time when steel was needed and very expensive, so they'd rather melt them down and make it steel. And of course, at the time, you never think about, we need to preserve this. It's always, at the time, like, oh, whatever, this isn't important, we need to get rid of this. And then, people down the line are like, why did you not preserve that? So,
I mean, the theme of our live is American versus British trains, but if you've been watching with us, you see it's truly an appreciation of both American and British trains, amazing pieces of history and architecture, powerhouses that were so great during their time, and I agree. It's so important to preserve these because once they're gone, and we will rely on images and hopefully our models being manufacturers to recreate these beautiful pieces of technology.
Yeah, it's really sad. Alright, we're going to let the big boy go around one more time from the other side of the station, and then we're going to wrap up the live for today. We got from having no crazy sound to having a lot of things on running at the same time. I mean, well, with the GS4, our GT3 had sound, but the other two European locomotives did not.
Now, was a Hogwarts Express a flying Scotsman?
Was it? I don't know. Was it? Do you know?
I'm genuinely asking.
It is something. I can't remember what now, and the reason I'm not sure if it's a flying Scotsman, but I do remember somebody talking about it on a video I was watching, and they were talking about what the flying Scotsman was, or sorry, what the Hogwarts Express actually was, and I cannot remember. I'm not sure if it's just flying Scotsman. I just don't know. I can't remember. Part of me is saying no, but I really am unsure. Alright, we're gonna bring over trains into the station. Live. And last we have our K4 coming onto the center track. That does have a really, for it not being super expensive model, the K4 has a really nice little sound system. It doesn't sound super shitty to me. It's got a nice little chop. It's got that flickering ember box, which you guys probably won't be able to pick up on the live. Well, thank you for anybody who took the time today on the holiday to watch. Hope if you did watch, you enjoyed the theme of us showing off some of our British engines versus American engines. No winners here, of course. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel. If you're watching this recorded, please like the video, and same thing, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and click the bell for notifications. That way you'll get alerted for anything we post in the future, whether it be shorts, recorded videos, which we are trying to do more reviews, engine videos, journaling kind of some of our modules we built. And then lastly, you'll get alerted for any future lives we do. We try to do them once a week, but unfortunately the summer's been pretty busy, so we haven't been super consistent on that. But if you do subscribe and hit that bell icon, you will be notified when we do a live. So we'll send you guys off with some whistles.